Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I'm very happy to welcome all of you to your own international online session on pragmatics. Thank you for taking the time to join us from different parts of the world. I'm Fatima, and I'll be your host for today's session. It's my great pleasure to introduce our trainer, Mr. Dwiki Rahman Khan, a certified TESOL instructor and English proficiency coach with extensive experience in preparing learners for IELTS, TOEFL, and PTE exam. Mr. Khan is also the founder of Linguasphere, an English community in Jambi, Indonesia, and has a rich background in teaching, journalism, and content creation. We are truly honored to have him with us today to share his expertise on pragmatics, a fascinating area of linguistics that explores how English is used in real life communication. Before we begin, let's quickly go over our rules. Please keep your microphones muted during the session to avoid background noise. You're welcome to the chat box to share your thoughts and comments. We will have a Q&A segment at the end of the session. You can ask your questions at that time. Without further ado, please join me in welcoming Mr. Dwiki Rahman Khan. Dear Dwiki, the floor is yours.
Okay, hello, nice to meet you. So yeah, it's 9 p.m. in Indonesian time right now. So yeah, nice to meet you all. So my name is Dwiki Rahman Khan. Actually, I'm a linguistics practitioner in effective English teaching. So I just want to share how we can use pragmatics in English teaching. So as I believe that I can share my screen right now. Okay, so I want to share
Yes,
first.
yes.
Okay, sorry. Okay. Can you see it clearly?
Yes, would you
Uh,
please use the full screen option?
this one. Okay.
Yes,
Okay. Thank you so much. So, okay, nice to meet
thank
you
you.
all. Good morning, good evening, good night. Yeah. So today we want to discuss how we can use pragmatics in effective English teaching. I believe some instructors know what is pragmatics in effective English teaching, but I just want to share it. This is the basic one, the basic material for pragmatics. Because why? I can share it to you again. So pragmatics is part of Cambridge. Hold on, I want to share it again. So in the Cambridge curriculum, okay, here in the Cambridge curriculum, it mentions about pragmatics. Okay, this one, Cambridge International AS and A level English language 9093. Okay, so pragmatics is also part of English teaching syllabus in Cambridge. Okay, hold on, this one. In reading, we have to do pragmatics, the linguistic elements and literary features of text. So it contains about pragmatics. So don't worry, this is part of Cambridge curriculum as well. So okay, I want to share it back again to my screen. Okay, can you see it again? Okay, let's move on.
Yes, great. Thank
Okay,
you.
so what is pragmatics? So yeah, I just mentioned here. So one way to understand language used in everyday life is through pragmatics, which focuses not only on what words mean by themselves, but also on how their meaning shifts depending on the context, the speakers, and their intentions. So pragmatics helps us to understand these hidden meanings. So what can we do with this one, and how we can understand communication like in a better way and avoid misunderstanding. Okay, so this is really important, like avoid misunderstandings, because for newcomers in English, like for young learner, adolescents, and then adults, they come to English as a second language, just like I do. And in Indonesia, this is really unique. Okay, Indonesia is quite different to other countries in the world because we have 700 or 800 more local languages in here. So my first language is not Indonesia actually. My first language is Malay language, Malay Jambi language. So this is like a local language. So each province in Indonesia has their own language. Okay, so my first language is Jambi, the second one is Indonesia, and the third one is English. Okay, this is really helpful for them. If they come to English as second language, we need to make sure that do they know about the pragmatics, or do we know how we can utilize pragmatics in the effective classroom teaching. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, well, so why pragmatics is important? So just like I told you before, it helps us to understand how and why people use them in real life. So we need to make sure that they can speak naturally. They can speak and then avoid misunderstanding. Sometimes it's confusing for them. Okay, what is the indirectly meaning of this sentence? I'm not sure about that now. This is really important to make sure that our students, our peers, our friends know to communicate and avoid confusion whenever they are talking to each other, because each country has their own culture. So we need to make sure that beside of those cultures, they can speak naturally to the others and then avoid misunderstanding. So there are three types. The basic one, okay, the basic pragmatics to effective teaching system. The first one is politeness. The second one, implicature. The third one is speech acts. So what is it, politeness? So yeah, just like normal people having a conversation to each other, like whenever you met a stranger in your life, you cannot say like without knowing how you can speak in politeness. So politeness is very important. Like, hello, nice to meet you, and then how is your day? That's a polite one, right? You can use this to respect and avoid offending others in social interaction. This is really important, and I believe a lot of teachers know how to deal with this. So we aren't going to talk much about this. Okay, so the second one is implicature. Implicature happens when a speaker suggests something indirectly, so the listener understands more than what is literally said. So sometimes we want to say something to the others, to our friends, to our peers, to our students, but we don't mention the direct meaning. So we don't mention like the literal meaning of it. We mention like indirect speech. So we mention that indirectly. They need to understand in the brain, so it improves their critical thinking in here. So we can use it in our discussion with our students, creating dialogue and then having another conversation, and then the other students need to observe the implication mean of their sentences, of their words, of their dialogues, and so on. This is really important because it improves their critical thinking, which is really important for newcomers in English. And the third one is speech acts. So speech acts is when language is used to perform actions like asking, apologizing, promising, and then giving an instruction, giving a command. So it's not just giving an information, but also make sure that there is a step to do it. So what is it? What do you mean, Dwiki, by that? So let's head back to the topic. So the first one is politeness. So yeah, a lot of people, a lot of teachers can do with this. Yeah, just make sure that can you make this like in a polite way whenever you are talking to each other, so you don't make so you make sure that your conversation is in a polite way. Yeah, politeness is the way people choose words or tone to show respect and avoid offending others in social interactions. I believe all of the teachers know about this, but maybe they don't know that politeness is also part of pragmatics in effective language teaching. For example, like if you want to give our students improvement in politeness, maybe we can give like a cue card, a cue card. You cut it like you print out like a paper, and then you cut it like using a scissor and then give it to your students. And then maybe you can put like 3 or 4 sentences in here, and then you can make sure that can you make this sentence in a polite way, and then we can give them some vocabularies in a board. This is really helpful for newcomer English, and I believe all of the teachers in here know how to deal with this. Okay, just to make sure that they know how to make polite sentence if they meet like a stranger, a politician, a renowned person, and so on. Okay, I just want to make sure like this one. Give me your notebook. How we can use this like in a polite way? Maybe we can use could, would, like modal verbs, and maybe we can say sorry and then so on. Okay, and then we can use like interjection in here. But I want to talk a lot in here because we've got things to cover. Yeah, this is really important. The second one, implicature. So implicature happens when we don't say something directly but suggest it. This is the keyword. Not that we don't say directly, which means indirectly. So we want to suggest it, and it depends on what both speaker and listener want, know, and expect. So the depends is based on the context. You know, a lot of words in English, a lot of vocabularies, those words are depending on the situation. Okay, so many vocabularies. For example, like bear. You know, bear means like, you know, an animal, but we can say like bear, I bear on you. So it depends on the context. This is also part of pragmatics, and this is really important because why? We need to avoid conflict, avoid misunderstanding in here. A lot of students, a lot of newcomers, they have a trouble to understand, wait, this vocabulary doesn't mean in that way, and how we can suggest that this is like the thing that she meant about this. So this is how we can use implication in our situation. Okay, so this is one of the examples. Okay, the easiest one. We can say like it's cold in here. Imagine like you're visiting your friend's house, okay, and then it's thunderstorm. It's thunderstorm. It's cold. The temperatures goes down, and then what about the window? The window just opens, and he forgot to close the window. But maybe this is the first time ever you visited your friend's house, so you don't want to make like it's your own house. You want to make it like implicitly to him. Maybe you can say like it's cold in here. It implies that please close the window. Maybe the speaker knows about that. Oh, okay, I forgot to close the window. So it avoids conflict, and then it also helps our students in here. Okay, so implication is really helpful for our newcomers in English. Now, this is part of pragmatics and how we can use this in our classroom. First of all, maybe we can say a lot of words, okay, a lot of vocabularies. Just type it on Google and then chat GPT, maybe something like that. And then maybe just please mention 10 vocabularies, 10 sentences that we can use in our classroom activity. This is really helpful. Can you imagine? What can you imagine about this one? So we can use this into our classroom. For example, like this one. You've been working a lot lately. Okay, I want a volunteer in here. I want a volunteer in here, okay? Can you suggest what does it mean by saying you've been working a lot lately? Okay, anyone can raise their hand. Okay, Miss Fatima, you can do it.
Well, I guess it depends on the context. For instance, if I'm talking to if for example, a child is talking to his or her parents, and then she says that or he says that you've been working a lot recently, it could mean that you haven't spent enough time with me. But
Okay.
yeah, if my
Yeah.
friend says that to me, it means that I need to take a rest, take a break.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that's such a great explanation. What about the others? Do you have another one about what is the implicitly meaning of this one, of the sentence? A lot, okay, a lot. Basically, it's a lot, depending on the context. This is the thing that I want to emphasize, okay? That every word, every sentence in English, sometimes it depends of the context, okay? This is one of the cases about what is it? About implicature, okay? So implicature means how we can generally, yeah, how we can generally understand about the speaker is talking about indirectly. okay, indirectly, but he or she suggests about it. Just like Miss Fatima told before, maybe you don't spend intimate time with me because you've been working a lot. Yeah, that's one of the cases. It depends on the context, okay? Because maybe he's working for a long time, like 18 hours per day, 24 hours per day. Yeah, I'm not sure if someone can work in that environment, but that's one of the cases in here. Okay, so we can skip into the speech acts. This is one. This is the important part of pragmatics. So, when we speak to others, we are not just sharing information. Sometimes we are also doing things with our words, and then these actions are called speech acts. Now, for teachers, for educators, okay, I want to emphasize on one thing. Locutionary act, illocutionary act, and prolocutionary act, yeah, these are the terms, okay? And do not mention it to our students because it's confusion for them. I'm just generally mentioning it because, yeah, we are educators basically. So here we have the locutionary act is the actual sentence or word spoken. That's number one. Number two, the illocutionary act is the speaker's intention, like making a request, a promise, or giving an order. The third one, the perlocutionary act, is the effect the words have on the listener. Okay, I will try to explain it one by one. The locutionary act is the actual sentence or word spoken. Basically, it's the literal meaning. That's it. That's it. Like the literal meaning. Okay, I'm giving you an example. I'm eating right now. So I'm eating right now. That's it. That's the literal meaning. It means that he's eating right now. That's it. Okay, that's the literal meaning. But in speech acts, we have illocutionary act and perlocutionary act. So illocutionary act is the speaker's intention. This is the keyword. Don't forget about this. Speaker's intention. Okay, like making a request, making a promise, making an order, giving a command, and so on. The speaker's intention are inside of the locutionary act. So these two are integrated. Okay, what about the example? I'll tell you about that later after we're having a discussion about this. Okay, so the illocutionary act, okay, it's an implicit meaning inside of the locutionary act. This is really important because some words, just like I told you before, have different meanings based on the context. Okay, so what about the perlocutionary act? Perlocutionary act is the effect of the words have on the listener. So whenever the listener listens to you, process it in their brain, they will do it based on the context. We call it speech acts in here. Okay, why is this important? Okay, what does it affect to our classroom activity in here? So this is one of the examples in here. Okay, so watch out for the cars. Okay, watch out for the car. So by literal meaning, we want to say that be careful of the car. Get out from the car. Okay, get out from the way. Because why? You will get hit by the car. Basically, that's the idea. Okay, and then what about the illocutionary act? Illocutionary act means that we're giving a warning. So just like I told you before, this thing, the illocutionary act, is an integral part of illocutionary act. We want to make sure that be careful of the car. The implicit meaning is giving a warning. We want to give a warning, like we want to give an order inside of this thing, inside of the word. Okay, and then based on the context, we want to take action. Okay, we want to take action in here. So the term of action is perlocutionary act. The listener quickly moves or become cautious. So this is the impact of the locutionary act and illocutionary act. So speech acts is really important for newcomers because why? A lot of words, a lot of vocabularies in English have different meanings based on the context. And if they have, if they don't understand, if they are misunderstood about the meanings, it has detrimental effect to the brain, to the implication of the indirectly meaning of the words. Okay, so this is really important. Now, Let's do a practice in here, okay? So when considering the application of pragmatics approaches in different fields, several aspects may need to be taken into account, okay? So we have three different practices in here, okay? The politeness, implicature, and speech acts. Now, I want I want a volunteer in here, choose one, okay? Choose one, and then how to make it polite in here. Number one, how to make it polite. Number two, what is the meaning of this one? I've been working all day. The third one, please open the window. Okay, in the speech acts. Can someone give me about the example, about the meaning of this one? Or maybe make a polite way of using politeness in here. Okay, hand me the phone. How we can make this like in a polite way? Okay, anyone wants to raise their hand?
Could you? Yes, may I?
Yes, yes, you can do it. Okay.
Could you please hand me your phone?
Could you please?
Yeah.
Could you please hand me your phone?
Okay, okay, that's good. Number one. What about the second one? I've been working all day. How can you say that?
I'm tired now.
Okay, you're tired now. Okay. So what does it mean? I mean, like that's the synonym. What does it mean? Like I've been working for all day.
It means
I
I need
don't.
some rest and I can't
Yeah,
do
you need some rest.
any
Okay,
works.
that's someone. Great, that's someone. What
I
about the
don't want
others?
to work any. I don't want to work anymore now.
Ah, that's great. That's the implicit meaning. Okay, so we can use this in our classroom, right? What do you think about this one? This is really example.
Very
This is
nice.
like easy for them.
Very nice and very informative.
Absolutely. So
Useful.
it improves their vocabulary. Anyone else wants to try? Okay, what about the third one? Please open the window. Okay. What about the locutionary act, illocutionary act, and prolocutionary act? Okay. Don't mention these terms to your students. Okay. This is only for educators and teachers only. Teachers only propose. Anyone? Maybe I can go back again. So locutionary act means literal meaning. Basically, the literal meaning. That's it. The illocutionary act, okay? Illocutionary act is the speaker's intention. What is your intention of saying that? What is your intention? Are you giving a request? Are you giving a promise? Are you giving an order? Or maybe you're making a request and so on. And the perlocutionary act, what are you going to do? What are you going to do based on the context? Okay, that's the easiest way that I can say to you guys. Okay, let's head back again. So please open the window. Can someone give me an example how we can generally answer this? Okay, we have a lot of people in here, one by one. Okay, maybe moderator can help me.
Farida has raised her hand.
Okay, let's give it a
Farida,
shot.
Farida, would you please unmute your microphone and talk? So we have Graceful. Graceful, go ahead, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can hear your beautiful
Okay,
voice.
so for this, please open the window. The locutionary act would be that maybe it's about giving a task can you open the window? And the illocutionary act would be it's a request. The person is requesting. And percussionary act will be that giving a response to it and trying to go and open the window.
Wow, that's great. So yeah, this is one of the easiest examples that I can think, yeah, about this one. Okay, but later about this. Okay, so this is one of the cases. Okay, this is the basic one. And what about the other? What about the others? Who wants to give an
Graceful,
example?
dear.
Okay. The
Yeah.
illusionary act of that sentence is that it's it's like giving a command.
Mhm. Okay.
I think it is a polite request because the word please is here.
Yeah.
Request. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can hear you. You can speak.
Okay, I said it's a polite request.
Uh, yeah, it's
Please
a polite
open the
request.
window. The Elocutionary Act is a polite request.
No,
Okay.
the last one, he will go and open the window.
Okay, that's the peculiar.
Is it?
Yes, the last one, Palukoshki Act. He will go and open the window.
Yeah,
The
that's the end.
second
Yeah.
one is also clear. The second one is also clear. Like he is just giving you a polite request, asking you to
Mhm.
do something. I'm not clear about the first one. What should be the first one? Palukoshki Act. Could you please explain
So,
it again?
locutionary act basically that's just the literal meaning. So basically, press open the window. It means that yeah, can you open the window? That's it. That's the literal meaning. But inside of that sentence, we want to give a request or not, or maybe we want to give an order. Maybe we want to make a promise and so on. That's part of the illocutionary act. The perlocutionary act is the action. That's it. So locutionary act is the literal meaning. Illocutionary act, do you want to give a request, promise, and so on? And perlocutionary act means that your action, execution. What is your execution on the sentence based on the context? Is that clear?
Very well. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, I want to show you guys a video of 1 minute. Okay, video 1 minute. So basically, this video is a Sheldon. You know, Sheldon Cooper, like one of the most renowned American movies in America. Okay, so I love this movie so much, and it contains a lot of different vocabularies and so on. Okay, so I want you guys to maybe please make a note, or maybe you can just type down on the chat box, or you can just speak directly after the video ends. So in here, I want you guys to yeah, to mention different meanings, like from implicature, speech acts, and maybe politeness based on the video. Okay, there are a lot of vocabularies. I believe that many people can think about it. Okay, you guys have your own mindset, your own perspective, your own vocabulary based on the context. So for the task in here, I want you guys to mention the speech acts, implicature, and the politeness that you can get from this video. Maybe from the words, maybe from the action, and so on. Is that clear for the instruction before we play the video? Clear? No question? Okay, no question, yeah? Okay, so
No, I think
let's
very
watch the
clear.
video. Okay? About this one, okay? This is one of the posters that I can think right now. So we can use pragmatics in here as well. Okay, this is just like I'm not promoting politics in here, but this is just for educational purpose only. Okay, and only for educational purpose only. So we can use this maybe like for adults, adult learner, maybe they new to English and then they want to improve their critical thinking and vocabulary. So what can you think about this one? About the implication, maybe the speech acts. You know, I want you for U.S. Army nearest recruiting station. Okay, can you think what is the speech acts in here? The implication in here. Okay, I believe that from the politeness, I think this is really polite. Okay, for military, for military purpose only, maybe this is like a basic manner for them. Okay, this is like the polite way they can say to us for civilians. Okay, I can share it, I believe. Okay, this one. So what can you think about this? I want you for US Army nearest recruiting station.
He wants him to join U.S. Army. This will
Yeah.
be the first one, and
Mhm.
it's a suggestion,
Okay.
and
Is it a suggestion or requesting? Which one?
I
Suggestion or requesting? What did you believe? Which one?
but like it depends how do we say it? Like I want you for you U.S. Army, then the meaning will be different. I want you for US Army, the meaning will be different. Like how do we
Okay.
pronounce it?
Ah,
Meaning
okay, okay,
will
okay.
vary. How do we say it? So it may
Like
be a
it's something.
suggestion, it may be a suggestion, maybe a request.
I think it's
Yeah, for me,
something. I think it's something like a direction, a command that I
yes,
want
for me it
you
looks
to
like
be in U.S.
a
Army.
command. Yes, an order.
It's something like
Yes,
an
can I?
order, ordering
Yes,
someone.
it looks like a
Yes.
command and like an order, giving an order.
Okay. And then
Like
what
for
about the
example, if
prolog?
we talk about if we change the statement like sentence, the tone of the sentence, like I want you in this class any cost, right? Like this, we can say like a kind of a command we are giving someone at any cost, like you should be there, something like that.
Okay, that's great. So what about the prolocutioner act? What is your action in here? What is your action in here? I want you for US Army. Go for the nearest recruiting station. What is action in toward this picture? Okay.
We will join the US Army.
So yeah, that's thing, yeah, that we can use in our classroom. Maybe we can print out other pictures, maybe using apples, apples. And then there is like a term like this behind the apple and so on. I'm not sure about that, but I believe other teachers, other instructors can use this term as well. Okay. And we can think about what about the implication, what do you want to do about this, and we can create an engaging mechanism in the classroom. So this is one of the cases for the pragmatics. Okay. So I believe that educators know how to utilize this in our classroom. And what my suggestion is that about the speech acts. Okay. Maybe we can print out like the basic one like this, about some words. What do you think about these words? And if you if the teachers that don't think that this is really engaging for them, maybe we can show like a funny video, and then we can print out some papers and then some words like, do you want like the American way, like the American style? I want you for the US Army. Maybe we can find other similarities, the same template, but using other pictures, posters. And then we can make our classroom engaging for that one. So basically, this is really important because why? It improves their vocabulary. That's number one. Number two, it improves their critical thinking. And then it improves their listening and speaking. So they can improve in so many different ways. Okay, for basic learner, this is really important. Some teachers just skip it because they want to focus in in some targets. I'm not sure, but some teachers just skip it because they don't know about it. That's number one, maybe. Number two, they have other targets, so they just skip about this. Basically, this is the easiest way, the most engaging way from the linguistics perspective in effective English teaching. Okay, so what about the common teaching strategies that you can use about the pragmatics in our classroom? There are 4 ways that we can use: project-based learning, collaborative work, continuous assessment, and observation and reflection. So this is the most engaging one, okay? Project-based learning. So basically, the students create a mini dialogue, so we can arrange them for a mini dialogue. Maybe the teachers can give them like different topics, different topics based on the groups, and then
Dear
the
Dwiki,
students.
dear Dwiki, I'm so sorry to interrupt you. Have you changed the slides because we are still seeing the practice slide?
Sorry,
Okay,
is it?
thank you. Thank you. Yes,
I
yes.
think.
Thank you so much.
Okay, can you see it?
Yes, very, very well. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. Sorry for my mistake. Okay, so in common teaching strategies, we have project-based learning, collaborative work, continuous assessment, and observation and reflection. Okay, there are 4 main ways that we can utilize pragmatics in our classroom. So the first one is project-based learning. So basically, the students create a mini dialogue project for different social situations, maybe informal way, and then workplace. Okay, so different things that we can use. So basically, the students, we can Imagine, okay, imagine you are in the classroom, and then in the classroom you have 30 students, 30 students in the classroom. And then we can divide the students into maybe 5 to 6 groups. The teacher needs to arrange for the topics. So the topics can be different, okay, could be different for each group, or maybe we can find a single topic for all of the students, for all of the groups. So basically it depends on the situation. I believe the teachers know how to deal with it. And then the students need to create like a mini dialogue based on the context. They need to collaborate to their friends, to their peers. And then after that, they need to like stand up in front of the class and then practice in a dialogue way. And then the other groups need to pay attention, need to pay attention to the students in front of the classroom, and then they need to create like what is like the thing that you can get from the dialogue, maybe from the polite one, and then maybe from, okay, what about this one? Can you guess about the meaning of this one? You know, about the context based on the implicature, but you don't need to mention the implicature because it makes the students really difficult to analyze what is the implication in our class. I believe the teachers know how to deal with this, but just to mention that what you can get from the dialogue, okay, from the implication, maybe from the speech acts, and then from the politeness. And my suggestion is that we can use 2-minute role play, just 2 minutes, because we have a lot of students. If in a situation you don't have a lot of students, maybe just 10, 5, and I believe that they can work individually. Okay, they can work individually, maybe they can work in peer collaboration, just based on the context. Okay, they need to identify the speech act and then the implication and the politeness. This is really important to improve their critical thinking. Okay, I don't like about that time. What about the collaborative work? So basically, the students need to analyze a conversation from a movie or a TV series, like we did before. You know, I showed you a video of Sheldon Cooper, and then what do you think about this one? Okay, so it promotes their critical thinking as well, and then each group needs to pay attention of the video, and then they can make a summarize maybe, and then the implicature. And if you don't want to mention that maybe one of your students is shy about it, maybe you can just type it down on the Word, you know, on their paper, and then they can mention about it. So you can use it like for writing as well, and then for reading. So they just can stand up and then read what is the conclusion, maybe the implication that he or she can get from the video. Okay, so like watching a short clip maybe for a newcomer, that's such a good start for them. Okay, what about the continuous assessment? So in this task, the students need to pay attention for a journal article, children's literature, and then children's literature, and then journal and so on. So basically, they need to read like children's literature, article, journal, and so on. Just pick one based on the context. If there's young learner, choose the children's literature, and so on. Okay, so basically they need to find like the polite way, polite things in the context, in the books, maybe the meaning of the words and the sentences, and so on. The speech acts in the context, in the books. So basically it depends on the context. We can use it like for a week, sometimes like each book contains like 20 pages for children's literature, maybe a lot of pages for journal, and so on. And we can use it like for a week. So 1 week do this, 1 week do this, 1 week do this. So it's a continuous assessment for the students. Okay, we can use it like in the classroom, in the school, maybe in the language center, and so on. And this is really important because it improves as well their scanning and scanning skill, which is an essential part of IELTS in the upcoming test. Maybe they want to study or study abroad, maybe, and so on. They need to master their scanning and scanning skill, right? So this is one of the ways to do that implicitly, without mentioning this is for your scanning and scanning skill in the upcoming test, maybe. Okay, so this is really important as well. But if you don't like this, I have the last option, which is observation and reflection. So basically, encourage students to observe a conversation and reflect on language use. So observe a group discussion or interview, like um, each group, each group needs to create a discussion, an interview, and then they need to know at least three instances of politeness strategies, indirect requests maybe, or implied meanings based on the context. So this is also like a group collaboration, but they need to observe and give a reflection based on the context of their conversation. So we have four things: project-based learning, collaborative work, continuous assessment, and observation and reflection. So these four things, I've been using this like for a year, and somehow it improves my students' critical thinking in here. So if I met a new student, and then we want to collaborate in English, basically sometimes I just want to mention about the video, like TikTok's video, YouTube's video, maybe Instagram's video, but in educational way. So we can improve our students' knowledge based on the context of pragmatics in effective language teaching. So I believe this is the end of my presentation. I'm so sorry for my mistake. I've made a lot of mistakes like the video and so on. So I hope that you can forgive me. And maybe I believe that we can move on into the Q&A section. So back to the moderator.
Thank you so much, dear Dwiki. You're such an inspiring educator. I was just thinking that how I can implement such brilliant ideas into classroom. And I wanted to ask you a question. Are there any pamphlets available where we can find some activities developed specifically to work on pragmatics in ESL or EFL classrooms?
Yeah, thank you so much for the question. I believe, there are a lot of books like from the Cambridge, like I told you before, like Cambridge curriculum. And then there is one thing that I love the most, which is Speakers Out from Pearson.
Speak out.
Speak out,
out.
yeah. Speak out, okay.
Speak out
So
stories, yeah.
in Speak Out, like from the earliest pages of the Speak Out, from A1 to A2, B1 to B2, and so on, you will somehow find like normal conversation, normal dialogue with them. So if you can utilize pragmatics in there, even though it's not implicitly, directly mentioned in the book, but you need to somehow be creative. We can emerge it with pragmatics in there, and then the students need to mention maybe from the politeness, and then from the speech acts, maybe from the implication. We can utilize this. So it's like a better version to empower our students based on the pragmatics, like from the basic discussion, and then just basic discussion and traditional old way dialogue, just speak to each other. It doesn't have a lot of impacts to them. But if we can emerge it with pragmatics, just like I told you before, politeness, and then implications, speech acts, the students need to think, okay, what should we do about this? What is the implication? What is the true meaning of the word, of the sentence, of our friends from the other groups? So this is really important. So we can improve their knowledge without mentioning about pragmatics in there. So you are implementing pragmatics, but you're not mentioning it. Just like the Cambridge curriculum in there, in the reading and speaking discussion.
So you mean that the course book series Speak Out, developed by Pearson, they have the valuable content, but it's still they are not working on pragmatics perfectly and fully. We have to be creative and let's say utilize the content and add pragmatics to it.
Yes, yeah, I do agree with that one. So sometimes it doesn't mean that Pearson and so on that don't know about it. They know about it, but maybe be creative teacher and because linguistics is something that not a lot of people know about this, so they don't want to maybe outweigh the teachers about the term. So maybe we can use the term without mentioning about it, just like the Cambridge curriculum. So this is very unique. Cambridge curriculum mentions about it, pragmatics in there, but it doesn't mention how we can utilize pragmatics in there. So this is the basic one, the basic knowledge of how we can use pragmatics in effective language teaching. So that's my answer.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So, what are the key benefits of pragmatics, especially used in ESL classroom?
Oh, thank you so much. So yeah, pragmatics is is a lot. Okay, it's a lot. This is like the basic one because I don't want to mention a lot of things, and then yeah, it's really difficult. We need to step by step learning about it, learning by doing, just like we are doing right now. So pragmatics, it's really important. It's like in the two worlds between linguistics and education. Okay, in education, but not many teachers know how to utilize it in the classroom because I'm not sure. Does linguistics have part in the in their bachelor's degree, in their degree, and so on? I'm not sure about that. But basically, there are many people know how to utilize it, and it is really important to strengthen your knowledge about English, like from the phonetics and then from the phoneme and so on. But we are talking about pragmatics. So pragmatics, basically, we need to know linguistically the students knowledge in English. But basically, um, okay. So basically, for pragmatics, it contains a lot. Okay, so maybe in the next section we can talk about this. And pragmatics really important in the classroom. So we cannot deny about it. Maybe every day in everyday English teaching we are utilizing it, but we don't know about the terms. We have no idea about the terms, and we cannot 100% implement it in our classroom. Okay, so by using pragmatics in our classroom, I truly believe we can understand our students' knowledge. Okay, we can understand students' knowledge even though we are still talking about the basic level of English.
Okay, I also remember that maybe it is related to the next question. In one of the linguistic books I used to read, it was mentioned that children are not good at understanding pragmatics. It was like that the child, the example was like the child comes to his or her mom and says, "Mom, he hit me." And then his or her mom doesn't know who he is. So it shows that the child is not aware of pragmatics and the context. So the next question here is also pointing almost the same thing regarding the levels. Do you think it's suitable for A1 level students, A-level students, beginners, especially for non-speakers, to learn about pragmatics? Is it suitable for them?
Absolutely. This is our job as an educator. Our job basically needs to educate our students and our young learners. Sometimes they don't know what is the literal meaning, what is the implicit meaning of the sentence. Okay, they don't know the implicit meaning of the sentence. So that's why it is our job to utilize pragmatics in education. If they know about pragmatics, so why we are going to teach them about pragmatics? Basically, they know about it, right? So it is our job as an educator, as an educator for newcomer English in ESL for young learner, to understand what is the implicit meaning of the word of the sentence, because it is their second language. It's not like the first language. You can talk freely to your friends, to your students, and so on, because you know the implicit.
I guess dear Dwiki broke up. So let me read the comments. Dear Graceful, Professor Graceful has written that pragmatics is beneficial to ESL learners in many ways. Politeness, communication. Communication is better when the implications of learners' speech acts are known. It makes learners understand words in context and the different meanings attached to different words. Yeah, I remember there was this example in our book, keep off the grass. If it is said, in a park, it means that do not step on grass. But if it is used at a restaurant, it means I don't like vegetables. So as dear Graceful mentioned, it helps students to understand the meaning of words in context. And yeah,
And
all
I
right.
just want to add one more point over here.
Yeah,
Like being educators, we all need to know about these terminologies, but we cannot teach literature, any language, without knowing pragmatics. It is very important. It is everywhere. It is very important.
yes. Definitely, definitely. As teachers in classroom, we avoid using technical terms, jargons, but we have to teach students. We have to inform them about the use. They must know about politeness and inferring the con- content or the concept or the idea which is being implied. You're very right. Okay, any more ideas? Any more? How are you going to use pragmatics in your classrooms? Any ideas? Would you like to share your thoughts? I was thinking about developing a 60-minute classroom based on pragmatics and coming up with some ideas which help students understand pragmatics. I'm very interested in receiving more ideas from your side. Do you have any idea how you're going to use pragmatics in your classes? Yeah, yes, in reading classrooms, pragmatics has been useful. Dear Graceful, you can unmute your microphone and talk.
Okay, thank you very much, Fatima. Now, in ESL classrooms, especially in listening and reading classroom, you discover that the importance of pragmatics cannot be glossed over. Uh, the the literal context of the passage, when listened to or when read, the learners could gather the literal meaning, but sometimes the inferential, that's where pragmatics comes in, has to be explained to the learners. And that's why the teacher has to bring in the implication, some of the speech arts and the meanings to the learners. So it allows the learner to have a deeper understanding, comprehension of the passage, whether listened to or read. So pragmatics becomes very useful there. Even in writing classes, pragmatics is very important. And in speaking situations too, pragmatics is important because a learner listening to a speaker may only get the literal meaning and may not get the other deep structural level meanings, which that is where pragmatics is very important. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, you're right. I remember even there are some books which specifically focus on reading, like select reading books or active skills for reading. And they also include some questions which ask students to recognize the author's attitude. And it is normally not given directly to students. Students should read the text, they should consider the context, they should pay attention to the connotational meaning of words, and the information is given to them indirectly, and they have to infer the information which has been implied in order to answer the question. Yeah, in reading, we also have to pay attention to implicature and also the indirect meaning given to students. And normally, this is one of the most difficult type of questions in reading, and teachers have to help the students in order to answer the question and scaffold them. You're right. Thank you. Mohammed has mentioned task-based situational conversations, especially thematic-based ones. Mohammed, is it possible for you to unmute your microphone and explain more? Dear Mohammed, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, would you
Well,
elaborate?
Yeah, I'm talking about the thematic based, you know, especially in our university, we have different kind of strands for business, medicine, humanities, and different strands. So this is going to be easy for the higher level students, not for the lower and beginner students. So explaining this will be easier for the higher level. Not that I see that it's not easy for the lower level students, and it will be easier if it is thematic based. I mean, if it is for the medicine, we are using a theme based in medicine, like a hospital, like clinic, a doctor's office, and so on. So it will be easier to explain these, and if you really immerse in something like that and explain it to the students.
Yeah, I agree with you because as dear Dwiki mentioned at the beginning of the session, pragmatics is about understanding the meaning in context. So you pointed out a very nice idea here. We have to come up with situations and context, design a task for students so that they can imagine they're in that situation, and then they can figure out the meaning behind the sentences in that regarding the context. I do agree. Thank you so much, Mohammed. Any more ideas or questions? All right. Unfortunately, we don't have access to dear Dwiki. I don't know what has happened to him. Probably a technical issue. But I'm so glad that we could manage to finish the session successfully. Thank you so much for putting in the time to show up for this webinar. I'm going to share a link with you in order to receive your certificates. Please make sure you fill in the form and answer the questions. Stay tuned for the upcoming webinars. Thank you. Have fun.
Thank you
Bye.
very much, everybody. Thank you.
Bye. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye, Fatima. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Thank you.